Hello and welcome, everyone. You have joined Twitchy Tuesdays, where we are thriving live once per week to discuss all the astrology of the week. And we pull a little bit of tarot here as well to get just more deeper insights into what's happening up in the cosmos. As the moon shines today, it's eccentric, it's humanitarian, it's Aquarian. It is the Aquarius full moon today, and that is what we are going to be exploring. We're going to be exploring our connection to our higher consciousness, the world at large. This full moon is going to inspire us to go to our edge, to let go of our limitations, push ourselves, step into our truth, and explore new ways of relating to ourselves and to others. Plus, we're going to cover a really high level overview of August because August, first of all, it's my birth month, y'all. Hey, and it is dynamic. So we'll cover that as well. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment and subscribe to stay updated with all of our astrology insights and future celestial forecasts. So we got to give a shout out not only today, we start August 1 with this Aquarius full moon, but we are doing something that has been on my goal list for a hot minute, which is getting more engaged on X, or the platform formerly known as Twitter. I love the Twitter X community and I love everything that's going on there. And I've been trying to figure out a way to mold and ebb and flow with this. And I think we got it this month. So this whole month, we're trying something new. I am streaming live to Twitter right now, as well as Twitch and as well as YouTube, just as always. So you can find it on all three platforms still. But just getting more ingrained into this X community and bringing out these lives there. So still using Streamlabs. Thank you, Streamlabs, for all of the work that you've done to create this amazing ultra platform. I'm not on the desktop anymore, but instead I am using Talk Studio. And you can find all of that information in the description box if you are on YouTube as well as on Twitch. All right, let's get to the astrology. Let's talk about what's going to be happening this week. Let me get to the first. So here is an overview of what today looks like. We'll dive into this moon overall because truly this entire week is all about this moon. The aspects that are coming up this week, which there is one outside of the ones that you see here, and that is on the 6th. Outside of that, everything revolves around the moon, and what is happening on the 6th actually starts during this moon as well. It's applied here during this moon. So we are going to cover all of that as we cover the moon, and again, pull some tarot with it as well. So 8/1, we have the Aquarius full moon, 9 degrees, 16 minutes. Then we also have Mars in Virgo trining Jupiter in Taurus, exact at 13 degrees, 46 minutes. And that will still be present for this moon. And then Mercury in Virgo opposing Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 5 degrees, 39 minutes, also very, very present in this moon. Then the rest of the week, outside of August 6th, there's no direct aspects. So we kind of get into this August vibe. We've got an insightful signature with August we'll talk about here in a second, and we get to really own and figure into this moon. So on the 6th, we have the sun in Leo squaring Jupiter in Taurus, 14 degrees, 16 minutes. Again, this square is already applying in the Aquarius full moon, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. All right, that's kind of the astrology overview of the week. Let's get into August as a whole. And I am going to start shuffling the deck. So we have the Celestial Tarot right here. Again, all decks can be found in the description box. And for my Xers out there that are watching live right now, I will make sure to tweet that out. Are we still calling them tweets? I'm just going to go with it. I'll make sure to tweet it out afterwards, right underneath the video. So let's talk about August. We are in a quarter. Talked about this last month. We are in a quarter of new foundations. That is what quarter 3 is. And that's going to take us through, what do we have? April, May, June, July, August, September. That will take us through September. And then the final quarter of the year, October, November, December, will transition to another kind of phrase. So this was all set out. I did this in the 2023 astrology overview. You can find that on YouTube. You got to go back to like the beginning of the year. But that is what this quarter really indicated for me, was these new foundations. And August had a really insightful signature to it, and it is this signature. The trip was far less pleasant than the destination. And boy, does this Aquarius full moon smack dab at the 1st of August absolutely align to that phrase. August signature. The trip was far less pleasant than the destination. And if you have that in mind, if you're already kind of thinking about that and thinking through that, you can really move through August pretty neatly, right? Like, I know the work is not going to be the best part of this process. The destination is going to be the best part of this process, but I still have to go on the journey before I can even get there. So overall in August, this is kind of this lovely overview and how dynamic it is. And when we talk about the trip and how it's a little bit less pleasant than the destination, we have 3 lunations this month. So 2 full moons to start and end the month, Aquarius and Pisces. And then we have a Leo new moon smack dab in the middle. And the full moons, they all have a signature to them that we'll talk about. I'll make sure to mention that when we get to the Aquarius full moon. They all have a very similar signature to them. Then the full moons that are in Aquarius and Pisces don't have any aspects to the moon within a 3-degree orb. Again, it's shining bright. These are super moons, by the way. So they're incredibly close. They're extra bright, extra large, extra in your face. There's a lot of extra energy as we are in Leo season. And the Pisces full moon is also going to be a blue moon. So you have all of this like energy with the moon, but yet it is not about the moon where the conversations are coming from. The conversations are coming from all these other aspects that are occurring around it. And we'll talk about that in this Aquarius full moon. Then, of course, lovely Venus. Hello, Venus. Venus is retrograde in Leo right now. Mercury is retrograde in Virgo. Mercury will be going retrograde in Virgo this month. Uranus will be going retrograde in Taurus this month. We have Virgo season starting. Mars heads into Libra. And we start the month in the midst of that Pluto T-square that we talked about in the last Twitchy Tuesdays. And that's that T-square with the nodes, the south node, the north node. So you can always go back and check out that episode. So we have that to start this. That's already been present and has been working with us. We see all month long, and this is what I was talking about with this similar signature throughout these lunations, an applied sextile between Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and a direct and then retrograde Uranus, with Neptune holding the center point, meaning it's kind of like in a chart, Neptune will be the point, and then Neptune is sextiling Pluto retrograde, and then Neptune is also sextiling Uranus. So that is a signature all month long. And then we have lots of fixed squares that are just sprinkled through. Fixed signs we have been having. This is not new for us. If you are a fixed sign, shout it out, throw it in the chat, throw it in the description. Fixed signs, we are used to these squares. We have been living the squared life, living the fixed powerhouse life for a few years now. We got a little bit of a relief this month in August. We're bringing that back. So lots of fixed squares sprinkled throughout the month, as if, of course, as if Venus in retrograde in Leo wasn't enough to keep us on our toes. We have a little extra. So that is August. Let's go into this Aquarius full moon. This is really all we got to talk about today. So this Twitchy Tuesday may end up being a little bit like kind of just Aquarian jam packed and very full moon jam packed, because everything just revolves around this super moon. And I love that we're starting the month off this way. So for those of you that are joining me for the first time, um, when it comes to new moons and full moons, I typically always end up channeling some sort of phrase, word, something that embodies what this moon is. You saw that when I was talking up ahead about the what type of quarter, like what's the phrase for the quarter, what's the signature for the month. Those things are all channeled. And the channeling that I got for this Aquarius full moon was relating to that trip, the trip that's far less pleasant than the destination. And that trip is leading us to our edges. This Aquarius full moon, and again, it is tied to the Leo new moon. It is tied to this Pisces full moon at the end of the month. How, like this leading to our edges, when I say that, what comes up for you? What thoughts come into your mind? Um, what trips have you been on that have brought you to your edge? Leading that signature of the sun in Leo, that leonine energy of leadership, our edges. That's what Aquarius is really great at. Opening and expanding our edges. Did you think you could go farther? Did you think you could push a little bit harder? Are you sure you're there yet? Are you sure there's not a little bit more that we can explore? Are you sure that we can't go a little bit farther? And uh, that might not be comfortable, right? The trip was far less pleasant than the destination. The destination is great. We love the destination. We got there. We love what it gave us. We love what it got us. But that trip to get there, I know I've had a lot of experiences in my life where I wouldn't want to go through the experience again, but I love the destination that it brought me to. So it's that kind of insightful work with self that you can, again, we've got some questions. You can journal prompt all of those. That is really, to me, what this moon is all about. So from a rulership perspective, this moon is ruled traditionally by the planet Saturn. And then in Western astrology, Uranus. So Saturn and Uranus, you want to always look at where the two ruling planets are located. Saturn right now is retrograde in Pisces and the Eight of Pentacles. Whoa, flipping and flopping. The Eight of Pentacles got something to say. This Centaurus has something to say here. And I wonder why. What is that? But right there, that is the glyph for Saturn. Yeah, got something to say. Okay, so where was I? Hold on a second. Um boop. All right, so we have Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. Whew, that one, I'm messages. Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. And we do have the Eight of Pentacles present. Uranus is also going to go retrograde this month. He's in Taurus. And I really feel like this is that split rulership, right? Taurus, we have the Pentacles present. That is where Uranus is at. But Saturn is the traditional ruler of Aquarius. And Saturn definitely, Uranus has that signature of the Aquarian, like the shock and the awe and the leading to our edges and doing the work necessary to get these Eight of Pentacles. How do I want to put it? Developing the self that is needed to get the things on this earthly plane that you are looking for as things are changing, as things are moving, right? It's that continual ebb and flow of being able to be grounded in the fact that things are going to change. Uranus and Taurus, that's been working with us for a while now. But then this Saturn retrograde and even just Saturn and Pisces in general is bringing this other way to think about how you get these Eight of Pentacles, how you get the things that you are working towards, how you look at what you've been given. Think about the centaur, right? Half man, half horse. and think about the journey that they go through and how they learn to be who they are, right? Do you follow the rules of man? Do you follow the rules of horse? Do you meet somewhere in the middle between the two? Do you have to create your own? These are all the things that watery Saturn and Pisces can question and bring up and just have like a fog around, like, really, what do I do here? What do I do with all of these 8 pentacles? Is there a different way to achieve the same goal? Is there a different place that I can take all of these things? And then 8/28 is when Uranus will go retrograde in Taurus this month. So coming up. So those are our rulers. Now let's talk about the few different aspects that are happening within this moon that are happening today. So I'll put that back up here so you can kind of see. Um, Mars in Virgo trine Jupiter in Taurus at 13 degrees, 46 minutes. Whoa. Okay. More cards flying. We have fixed fire. Love that, Leo. Love that Leo energy. We got the Queen of Wands that wanted to show up. And we have the Prince of Cups, mutable water. Very interesting. All right. So we've got Pisces present, Neptune present. We just talked about Saturn. We've got Leo present, the sun, obviously, and the Queen of Wands. So with this Mars and Virgo trine Jupiter and Taurus at 13 degrees, 46 minutes, Jupiter already making that applied trine, or excuse me, the applied square to the sun, which will happen on 8/6 at 14 degrees, 16 minutes. This is like, it's almost like this grounding support system. It's fixed. So here, let me get this one. It's that fixed fire. That is where Leo is. That's where the sun is. Jupiter. Jupiter is in Taurus, fixed earth. And it's this ability to have support during this journey, during this trip, during maybe your trip just started today. Maybe you just got in the car and got going, right? Where you're going to be pushing yourself, leading to your edge. You know what is coming up. And there's this great sovereignty within yourself, this grounded support with these fixed signs that are saying, yes, you can. There are going to be challenges. Here's what you should think through and think about. But we can absolutely use this energy to lead to our edge, which the Prince of Cups. What is that edge? And how do you feel about that? And can you take that feeling and transition it into something useful? I've got a story I'm going to share about that because it really does go into this Mercury Virgo opposing Saturn conversation as well. So I'll get there in a second. But when I was thinking about this Mars Virgo trine Jupiter and Taurus, I got this image of like bungee jumping. How can we use this fixed fire to calm these tempered, this mutable water that's going on, our mutable emotions that are going on within us? And how can we use that to lead to our edge? So think about bungee jumping. How do we do that? Well, bungee jumping, now that it has been around for more than a decade plus, right? Couple of decades now, there are procedures and things that are in place that can make you go to your edge a little bit easier, can make that decision to, let's say you do want to go bungee jumping. You can find reputable companies. You can look at things like safety procedures and manuals, all of these really wonderful Saturn sort of things. They've got harnesses, they've got cables, they have like all of these different mechanisms that let you go to your edge and stand there and then be able to take that next step over. Same thing with skydiving, right? Those sorts of kind of going to the edge moments. And I'm not saying that that's going to be your experience, that you're doing something vastly extreme, but it's that concept about how can we use the things that are around us that are already in place to help us as we go through this mutability, go through this journey That may not be as pleasant as we wanted it to be. But to get to the destination, to get to after you've bungee jumped, after you've done your skydiving, after you're back on Earth, and that experience that you get to take away from it. And then Mercury in Virgo opposing Saturn retrograde in Pisces at 5 degrees 39 minutes. Oh my gosh, these cards are flying today, y'all. Hold on, one's on the floor. I gotta go grab that. Boop-a-doo. Come back here, card. 9 of Wands. We have Draco, which very interesting that Draco is aligned with this 9 of Wands and the dragon. We just got done talking about the nodes. All right, let's see what this Mercury in Virgo opposing Saturn retrograde in Pisces and this Draco 9 of Wands wants to come out. Let's see if there's more cards. So, oh my gosh, 10 of Wands, fire. So, wand heavy conversation coming in. All right. So, this is a continuation. This aspect is a continuation of the story that we talked about in the 7/18 Twitchy Tuesday episode. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Twitch, you can go find that when Mars and Saturn went through this opposition. So, they met up on 7/20. You can go back and listen to that, but think back on that meetup, especially as it was applied, because that was something that slowly got there, peaked, and then had slowly come off. So it was this kind of like an orchestrated story that was going to be, again, coming here into August, that was going to be present again. What were the deets about that you got? What were the insights that you got during that time? What were the things that you needed to pay attention to with all of these wands? What were the things that, let me put it this way, what were the things that you needed to pay attention to? What were the things that you took action on because of that conversation, that now Mercury in Virgo is here and is like, okay, let me place my analytical brain to this. Okay, let me actually put some thought and some process into what is all happening here. What fires did you light? What fires do we need to what things have completed? That's another great thing, right? This is about letting go. This is a full moon. So what things have been completed? We've talked a lot about nines, right? And tens. Nines are complete. They're not finalized. We are finalized. Some things during this moon, during this cycle in August, may be finalized, but not complete yet, or you could have both. We have both present here. Some things. So it's about that discernment. It's about how using that Mercury and Virgo to discern which one is which with what you're going through, with this lead towards your edge, with the lead towards what you're doing. Is it both? Is it one or the other? And applying that discernment to each one and applying that to what you're working with. So Mercury and Saturn, there's a bunch of questions that came out on this for me, and this can be something to journal through. So Mercury and Saturn, will the problems you are facing in getting to your edge, so if you're being blocked in any way, if you've got a dragon you've got to get through, if you've got a forest fire you've got to get through, anything leading to your edge, are you going to be able to figure that out right now? Again, using discernment, using these things that you've been given, this understanding, this intuition, this wisdom that you have to answer that question. Then, because Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, and this is how Saturn rolls right now, we even got this question. Do you even have an edge? Is that a preconceived edge? Is that actually your edge? What is an edge? Define that for yourself. Are you even leading? Are you leading yourself? Do you even know what the Mars-Saturn conversation even really was about? Saturn in Pisces is unclear. It's the nebulous, it's the nimness of things, right? It's the what is an edge? those are the things that Saturn's going to be there. And Mercury, who wants to be super analytical, super factual right now, he's very home sign. He loves it here. I'm a natal Mercury in Virgo. I love Mercury in Virgo here, or I love Mercury here in his home sign. He wants to be analytical and factual and be able to apply that to what's happening on Earth as an Earth sign. He could have some trouble figuring out what's happening, using his discernment to figure out if it's a 9 or if it's a 10. Even identifying what is actually wrong overall, like where this fire is coming in from, where the dragon is kind of blocking all of the things that are needed, or even if there is anything wrong at all. And those questions, consistently be questioning yourself during this time, right? Consistently be digging in. And that's where I wanted to talk about my walk today and what kind of was going through my mind, because it completely aligned with this moon and this Mercury Virgo opposes Saturn retrograde. And again, like I just said, this is my natal placement here. So all of this is really accurate and very prevalent for me right now. So on my walk, we're in the middle of a 75 hard right now. So I'm doing a 45-minute walk outside with my husband and the puppies. And on my walk, in my head, yes, I am one of those, and I'm super grateful I have extreme internal dialogue. I definitely think I've got an internal voice. And in my head, during my walk, I was thinking, like walking along, I'm going at a good pace. It's a little bit faster than I wanted. I've got to, like, there's still halfway to go. And then it just came on me and it was like, I want to be angry. I'm looking at me like, you want to be angry? Like, yeah, I kind of feel like I want to get a little angry. Like, I'm angry that I'm the fool. The fool just popped. I'm angry that Uranus, by the way. I'm angry that I'm having to go on this walk. I'm angry that I'm going this fast. I'm angry that there's still halfway of my walk to go. I want to go home. I'm hot. I'm this, I'm that. And then I slowly just kind of like, again, observer of my thoughts, let those thoughts slide, kept and maintained everything. And I'm like, but do you really want to be angry? Like, is that really how you're feeling? Is that really what this is? And it allowed that kind of noise to stop for a second and pause. And I was like, I'm not angry. Uranus, shaking it up. I'm not angry. I don't even feel remotely angry. Like, yeah, it's, is it hot? Do I want to keep, I've got all the reasons why I don't want to do this, but that doesn't mean that I am angry about any of it. I'm like, how can I transition this? And that was the conversation through my walk in my head that I was having is how can I transition this? How can I go again? My walk, that journey wasn't as great as the destination. When we got home, I was great because I wasn't walking no more. I did great time. I was really excited. But the journey was a little bit more challenging. And what I figured out was, what can I change that to? Like, how can I transition some of that? Like, yeah, I have half of my walk left to go, but I don't need to be angry about that. Can I beat my other time? Can I beat my first half of time? Yeah, it's hot outside and I'm sweaty, but you know what? There were multiple days last year where I wasn't walking at all. So that's a bonus, right? So I had to have this talk with my anger and really get down to the deep of Saturn and Pisces, really get down to the deep about what I was really thinking, feeling, why this was present, what was coming up, because it wasn't what it appeared to be. So I wanted to, as I was kind of going through this Mercury Virgo Saturn retrograde, I've just felt like that story kind of like super aligned with what this really, like this opposition can be all about. That opposition of, well, one side wants anger. One side of me was like, anger is the way to go. And the other side of me is like, no, there's another way. And really, you're only being angry because of why? Because it's the easy thing to do. Okay. How does that align with like heal, thrive, grow, your values, what you've been working on, etc.? So here are some questions for transitioning. Here are some questions for the Aquarius full moon. I'll be pulling tarot with these questions as well, but this could be something that you could take away, apply to yourself, and do any journaling on for this moon. So the first question is, how are we leading to our edges? So how are we leading to our edges within this moon and within this month? And we got Gemini. We got the lovers here. There we go. Well, all right. This deck has that shiny, glossy front to it. And this lovely bright light that I have here doesn't really enjoy that very much. But we've got Gemini present. We've got the lovers. Mercury also rules Gemini. Mercury very present in here. So how are we leading to our edges? And I think there's a lot about self-love and self-care. In a different private reading that I was doing, the message around this like journey to wholeness came up for this moon. I think that's really prevalent here as well, where how are we leading to our edges? It's through the harmony that we're creating within ourselves, right? It's through that love that we have, learning that self-love, learning that self-worth, learning that self-value, and knowing that you can, taking those leadership roles, that leonine leadership energy and applying it to the self. Maybe that is your edge, right? Maybe that's the edge that you're looking for right now, is just fully embodying and embracing that self-love. It's having those Gemini, it's having those conversations. It's being honest about where you're at within your process. It's being honest with yourself and with others. This fucking journey is a shit show right now. It's crazy out here, but I'm okay. Still walking, still doing my thing, still thriving over here. I'm just focused on me. And sometimes that is just the edge, is to finally like speak out and say, yeah, like, how you doing? The journey's kind of crazy right now, and I'm okay with that. I'm working through it though. So that is, how are we leading to our edges? Okay, so let me phrase this the right way. The question really is around, and this is such like, I read this question, I'm like, whoa, I don't even know what this is. So being us as an individual, how is what it is or what it means to be us as an individual impact what it is to be human, what it is to be a spiritual being having a human experience, what it is to be literal stardust? And that's a journey. I'm getting goosebumps right now. That's a journey that, you know, after my awakening and kind of moving through, that was one of the first things. Aries, the emperor, just flew out. That was one of the first things that like I had to really work through. Was I took everything away, all of the things, all of the human things, took it all away, cuz it was like, all right, how do I get myself in alignment? How do I vibrate on a higher frequency? All of the things went away. And then through that process, I realized that it is okay, Emperor. It is okay, Aries. It is okay to thrive. It is okay to be human. It's okay to want to have your nails done. It's okay to have super cute. I woke up this morning, I was like, my hair is cute today. It's okay to wear makeup. It's okay to go get dressed up and go to a ball. That is all part of the human experience. It's all part of what being a spiritual being, having a human experience is. For my journey, this is my journey. So if your journey is, nope, I've got to sell everything and I have to go to India, great, awesome. But you can't forget what it means to be you, the Emperor, Aries. You can't forget what it means to be you as an individual. That's what Aries teaches us. That's what Aries grounds us in. This is all what the North Node is going to be doing. This individualized, it's all what Chiron's doing right now. It's this individualized. How do you have an individual knowing that you are also a human in an experience with the collective? So that's another question during this moon, during this cycle, during this month that could come up for just like, let me think through that a little bit more. And then the last one that we had was, if you have been working with astrology, and I'll still pull a card for this one, but if you are working with astrology pretty regularly, what has Sun Saturn? Sun Saturn's gotten some plays. What has Sun Saturn or Sun Uranus? If you are a journaler and you kind of know your process and your flow with astrology, what are those dynamics between those planets? 10 of Cups just popped out. What do they look like for you? What do they look like through you during the course of the year, during the course of the last couple of years? And how do those play out? And then how do you use that information to build upon other dynamics that show up between Sun, Saturn, or Sun, Uranus? And the 10 of Cups here. Let's see what is in here. We've got Scorpio, we've got Pisces, we've got Cancer present, and we've got all in this like beautiful waterfall, and it's just water overall, 10 of Cups. So how do you ebb and flow between those dynamics? How do you embrace all of the lessons that were learned, all of the feel good things that you have, all of the dynamic energy, the dynamic senses that you get when you mix these dynamics of Saturn and Sun, Saturn and Uranus? This card does not indicate to me that it like weighs you down, that it's like drowning, but instead it's this like liberation is the word that I'm hearing. It's this liberation of these dynamics, and that maybe it's that new cycle, right? By the way, blessed Lunasa to everybody. It is August 1st. In the Gregorian calendar, this is when Lunasa is celebrated, the first harvest. So maybe it's time that you're liberated from those sorts of things. You're liberated from this like Sun, Saturn, like, something, that dynamic that drags you down. You've been liberated from this Sun Uranus dynamic that just like continues to shake the shit out of you every time it happens. There might be some of this liberation here for you. And then how does that morph, right? How do you work with it? Again, that was a journey. If you are being liberated, that was a journey you had to go through. The destination of being liberated is going to be wonderful. And now when these cycles come up, you know how to work, you know how to ebb and flow with it. All right, let's get to let me see if there's, no, okay. We will get to the Oracle card, the guidance card for this moon, and then we're going to clear space and be done. We're going to be out of here. So beyond Lumeria Oracle cards, this is what I chose. I chose this yesterday as well. And the reason why is because, and it obviously will be in the description box. The reason why is because we are in the midst as well in the 8/8 portal. When I set out, I love astrology. I love how the universe synchronizes all of the things that we do, because when I set out to do Twitchy Tuesdays, which started this year, had no idea, just picked Tuesdays, just like went with the name, was totally channeled, totally guided. And here we are coming up, and 8/8, the 8/8 Lionsgate portal is one of my favorite portals to work with. I've been working with it for a couple of years. I love it so much. Of course, it's in Leo season. Of course, it's like right before my birthday. So it really resonates with me. And of course, what's next week? Twitchy Tuesdays, 8/8 Lionsgate portal day. You can't make that up, right? The universe is not so lazy that it gives us coincidences. So you don't have a Sirius deck. Sirius is the star that aligns with the Lionsgate portal, but I did have a Lumerian deck and wanted to get that kind of cosmic. I'm also wearing my Roswell shirt, especially with the Aquarius energy. I wanted to get that cosmic kind of perspective for this moon when we talk about guidance. So the cards are beautiful. Deck is beautiful. If you're looking for a good Lumerian deck to work with, definitely recommend. I talked about this a little earlier, this journey to wellness. This was the card that popped up. So you can kind of see some of the artwork and imagery in it. And it's been sitting here because it did not want to go back into the deck yet. It wanted to be present today. So let's get guidance. What spirit ancestors, thank you for speaking to me and speaking through me. I ask that you guide me with this oracle deck. What is your guidance? Whoop, thank you. One more. Let's get one more. What is your guidance for this Aquarius full moon for the collective today? What is your guidance? Thank you. All right. So we got two that popped out, one that popped out before the question was over. So solar plexus. Hello, Leos. Solar plexus energy, as well as evolution. Beautiful imagery, beautiful card. Let me get the solar plexus back up here for you. And underneath it says radiant illumination, solar plexus chakra. So full moon might be a great time this month to do some of that solar plexus cleansing. Could be a great time to do mudras around the solar plexus, do a chakra yoga practice, breathing into the solar plexus. You can listen to the not Schumann resonance, excuse me. You can listen to the Hertz's, different frequencies that align with the solar plexus. So think through all of those things. But let's get a little bit more in depth with the card itself. So the solar plexus chakra says personal power, independence, self-discipline, confidence, assertiveness, decision-making, belief, intellectual abilities, expression of will, and brings ideas into reality. So the solar plexus chakra is the radiant center of our being. It holds the vibrant spark that brings our passions to life. Enter this space to step away from playing small, unworthiness, the idea that you are taking up space, and insecurity-based competitiveness. Allow yourself to be attuned to the abundant life force that resides within this center and be energized, motivated, fueled, and inspired, enthused and clear-minded so you can bring forth more of yourself and what you wish to birth into this world. As you discover a deep and real sense of empowerment, you can more confidently lift others in celebration, harmonizing differences and shifting hierarchical paradigms into collective co-creation. And that is exactly what Aquarius is all about, and even Pisces when we get to the next full moon. So restore. Remember that you are a powerful being who can connect with potent life force energy as and when you need it. Be aware of what fuels your fire and consider circumstances where you had your power away. Imagine all the fragments of your energy that you have given away at some point and bring them all back to the center of your being. Themes, your power and where you are putting your energy, that aligns very much with the wands that pulled up, the 9 of wands, 10 of wands, healing position, navel, and then color wash, golden yellow. So that is the solar plexus. And then we've got one more with evolution. All right. So evolution, growth, overcoming challenges, gracefully riding the waves of life, expanding out of a problem, flourishing in the face of change, thriving in new environments, being unperturbed. I love that word, unperturbed. I really like that word. What does personal evolution mean to you? It's about growth, expansion, adaptation, success. Or is it becoming a better version of yourself? Perhaps it speaks to an ability to move through difficulties. However good we are at However good we are at surfing the waves of life, we all face surging tides of challenging ups and downs at times. When we try to hide from our trials, they get even bigger or more overwhelming. We can dive into them or surf them for growth and transformation. We might also flow with the current of least resistance, allowing the waves to wash over us and inspire a deeper sense of compassion and strength. How we meet our challenges contributes to our growth and evolution. That's that concept of going to the edge, right? It's the concept that I talked about with my walk with anger and just finding a different mindset, clicking into a different thought process on it all. We rarely know how many fails, quote, went into someone's success. Do your best. Be aware that, quote, success is rarely instant. It may take years of persistence. The idea that a project, quest, or realization should come together quickly and perfectly can freeze creativity. Life is about the process. Success is about perseverance. Ooh, almost got that one wrong. That is not to say we should keep pushing uphill if we are not feeling it. Obligation does not have the passion and determination to press through challenges. The notion that love will find a way is relevant as challenges are more likely to be surmounted when you have the spark of passion and enjoyment in your heart. So consider what drives your bigger picture plans and what inspires you to take this path, to chase this dream. Success is linked to doing what you love. It takes time to get good at something. When you love what you are doing, you keep going through the failures and the disappointments until you meet success. There are challenges we have no power or control over. In those circumstances, our evolution is more of an internal process. How can we strive to see the silver lining? Find the gratitude, the learnings, and do what you feel you need to do to be a real and honest about your feelings. Did we just not talk about that? Evolution or life mastery is attempting every wave with courage, grace, and poise. It is about meeting challenges, learning to glide across the emotionally charged waters of life, and bringing joy, humor, and lightheartedness along as you weave your light in the world. Divinatory meaning, and this is the last of it. Look for ways that you can flourish in the face of challenge. Tap into your original passion and remember why you choose the path that brought you to where you are now. How many times in these Twitchy Tuesdays have we talked over and over and over about making sure you have your vision, making sure you have your values straight, making sure that you're grounded in your why. Start with why. Make sure that you have that down so that way, as these decisions are coming in, you can make and weigh those decisions based on those values, based on your why, based on your bigger, broader, longer term goals. Let's see. Break a problem down into its elements and be creative in how you tackle them. Consider how you can make it, and this is so perfect with Mercury and Virgo. Consider how you can make it more fun and inspiring. Alternatively, be present and ask how you can learn, grow, and become stronger through what is happening for you. This is why my values heal, thrive, grow, fitting into those buckets. Focus on the aspects of your situation that make it all worth it. Draw on the inner resources that can pull you through. You have the qualities you need to shine, so don't lose sight of the bigger picture. You may be pushed to greater and deeper learnings, and it might be an uncomfortable process, but the strength, growth, and wisdom, or the destination that come from journeying through the eye of the storm and embodying this knowledge is something no teacher can show you. Wow. Great cards. Again, I'll flip them up here. Guidance. You have your questions. Oh, such a beautiful moon. And they are calling it reading done. Let's clear space and then we can get out of here. So thank you for all of you that are joining on X today. It has been a goal speaking of Aquarius and doing all of this, it has been a goal for a hot minute now of mine getting more content to X, or the platform formerly known as Twitter. I love this platform. I'm really excited to take this journey. I love that I'm starting it in the midst of Leo season on August 1st. On my 40th birthday month, we are walking into 40, aligned AF. That's what I started out with when last year I wanted to be hashtag 40 and aligned, and just taking this beyond. So if you enjoyed this, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. It is all about the community. It is what is working and what's not. But let me know how the stream turned out. Make sure to follow me on X. Make sure to follow me on YouTube and Twitch. I've got the other social media like Instagram and TikTok as well. August is fully scheduled. So you can go on YouTube if that is your preferred platform. You can go to the live tab on my page, smash the notify me button all the way to the end of August, all of those lives. So that way, when I am live, you get that notification. I haven't figured out how to schedule that with Twitter yet. I don't think we can, or X. I don't think we can, but just know this is 5:30 p.m. Central every Tuesday for Twitchy Tuesdays. And if you dig music and want I guess they're kind of specialty, curated playlists of songs to vibe to, you need to check out my Apple Music channel. It is Apple Music at Habitual Sages, and you'll find 2 Saturn return playlists. You'll also find a Saturn and Pisces playlist, which I was totally vibing to the other day. Totally made it back around. And I just made, thanks to another channeled message during a walk, a Venus in retrograde in Leo playlist that is banging. So that can all be found on there, as well as a Twitchy Tuesday ones that I add to regularly when I'm listening to songs and just vibing it out. That's kind of like a hodgepodge of all different things that you can use as you're, cleaning or cleansing, building altars, doing your tarot, doing your astrology, etc. So you can get the link in my profile on any platform. It will take you there. And again, or if you're in Apple Music, you can go to search and just type in Habitual Sages, all one word. All right, everyone, that is it for this episode of Twitchy Tuesdays. I will see you next week. Blessed, blessed Lunasaw, blessed Aquarius full moon, and enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.